Welcome to People and Peloton, the SD Worx podcast where cycling and business come together. In every episode, we put two conversations next to each other, one from the boardroom and one from the Peloton. Together, we'll discover their similarities and what both can learn from each other. How do you build a culture that actually inspires and connects people? It's a $1 million question, highly relevant in both business and sports. And today we'll explore what makes culture sustainable, how purpose becomes behavior, how values survive pressure, and how you build something people want to belong to. My name is Dorien Leyers, and joining me today are Bruce Fecheyr-Lippens, Chief HR Officer at SD Worx, and Erwin Janssen, Team Director at Team SD Worx-Protime.
The values of Team SD Worx-Protime. I think you can say that we are a typical sports company with a family-owned company DNA, with an open culture, with short lines, a good atmosphere, and we go with each other like family and friends. So we are always there for each other, and I think that brings us a lot. With that, we are also one of the top teams in women's cycling who are only working with women. And that's of course also one of our typical values that works in a different way than the combined team from men and women.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello.
Let's start about culture, purpose, and legacy. Let's start about a very personal thing. Your personal purpose, if I may ask, Bruce.
Yes. For me, it's trying to have people and help people to be at their best potential. Whether it is my colleagues, that they feel at their best, that they can be at their best. Whether it is at home with the 3 kids, wife, friends, that they can be at their best potential, and where I can help, sometimes listening, sometimes giving advice. And that in a way, life is also about team at work, team at home, and that we can just be at our best. That's for me what makes me wake up every morning, makes me tick every morning, gives me energy.
It almost sounds too good to be true.
Yeah.
If that is, then you are the perfect husband.
I'm not.
Somebody who asks it himself on a daily basis, what can I do to make my wife's life better? That would be amazing. No, but that's... even if it's not possible every day, exactly. But that is the thing. If that's your purpose, then that goes a long way. That's the whole point. Erwin, do you have a personal purpose because you're a team player?
Yeah, of course I have personal.
Do you want to answer for the team?
Yeah, I have personal one, but I rather want to talk about the purpose of the team. And that's, if you look back, we are now 10 years the number one in the world. I think we also were pretty trend-setting in women's cycling. We really...
Absolutely.
Set new borders, and that's also the purpose for the next 10 years. So staying the number one in the world, staying the best team, setting new borders, but also, I think also for me personally, it's also important that we stay also the nicest team in the world in women's cycling.
Okay. Well, that is something that I want to talk about, because when you look at that, you look at the DNA of a team, and you say what's important for us besides the obvious, which is winning and being top athletes. So what defines the DNA of a cycling team beyond those results?
Yeah, but in top sports, results are really important. So they are of course really important in our DNA. So a winning team, that's really important, and we race every race to win that race. That's a mindset, what is typical in our DNA. But also, I think if you look to us and how we work together, it's like a friends or family DNA company with short lines, with an open atmosphere, with a safe environment. And I think these are the most important ones, and doing it together.
Now, SD Worx is on the shirt. I can imagine if you work together and the values wouldn't resonate, that would be a no long-term relationship. So Bruce, obviously I'm assuming that the DNA resonates with each other?
There are plenty of similarities.
Yeah.
And we
Give
use
me a couple ones.
Yeah, we use it constantly internally. And one of our values is commitment drives us forward. How committed are your ladies?
Yes.
All for one for all. If you saw all the races that Lotte and Lorena won together.
The Musketeers.
Voilà, it's amazing to see. Yeah, the road is open is one of our other values. I think.
Now you're just stealing quotes directly from the cycling business.
So no, we have those values already. We have those values, and we wrote those values before we went into sponsoring the team, because we also wanted to make sure that we were sponsoring something that we were 100% behind. Yeah. And we found that match with the women's cycling team SD Worx-Protime.
Absolutely.
I think it's also nice if you look always before the start of the season, and then Kobe, the CEO, and Jill, they come and they tell also their values, the really company values from SD Worx and Protime to our girls and staff.
Oh, okay.
So that works really well, and you see always the girls always try that with them.
Mm-hmm. Now, from your perspective in the business world, Bruce, often, if I may say so, the values are quite similar, and they should be, because it's a cliche for a reason. Connection, care, commit, those kind of. How do you take them off that wall, literally, and incorporate them?
The one thing is behaviors. The leader makes 70% of the culture. If you take the leadership team and others, it's even more. It's behaviors. It's what you do, what you don't do, what you tolerate, what you don't tolerate. If you have, for us, a salesperson who is selling a lot, but who is killing the team in a way for years in a row, then you have to act. You have to be a critical friend, give the feedback. And if the feedback is not taken, you have to let the person go, because you decide for the team and for the values above an individual. It's in those daily moments, in those daily behaviors, in those small little moments, meeting after meeting, that culture is built.
Yeah,
it's something that has to grow organically. I don't think a culture works when it's just a top-down.
It doesn't work. And culture is there, DNA is there. People also say you cannot copy culture. You can copy products faster. So culture is there. It's there. You can't just change it. It takes so much time to change something. I'll give you one concrete example. I started this job about 4 years ago, and we're joking about it. We have a culture of that sometimes, we talk a bit in the back of the people at the coffee table. We said we want a culture of being real, critical friends, open and transparent with each other. We have made steps. Are we fully there yet? No, but it's an everyday effort. It's like you have a campfire, but if you don't put wood or a bit oil on the fire, it will stop. Yeah. And that's a daily thing.
How do you build that culture in a team where they are both competition at some point, maybe in a split second, and of course a team?
Yeah, it's what Bruce said. It's the culture that grows. I think if you look to Team SD Worx-Protime, the strong culture, that's really our foundation. And what we do is that we try to find, we are a small team. We are working with around 18 riders and 18 staff members. Mm-hmm. So that's comparing to, for example, SD Worx, a really small company. But what we try is to find also new riders and staff who are really fitting in that culture.
Right.
And then even your culture will be stronger and stronger. And I think that is what we did the last 10 years. And that is also, I think, one of the big successes from our team.
Now, a very hard question, because Bruce mentioned the best sales manager ever would still be getting fired if it was clear that he was not fitting our culture. Would you let go the best rider ever if it's clear that this is the biggest individualist, no team player, and doesn't get along with any of the other girls, but it's the best rider you've ever had, Erwin?
That is a really interesting question. I can tell you, first of all, we never should start with such a rider. Because before we know, of course, the plus and minuses from the several riders. And we had in the past really world-class top riders who everybody thought they will join the Team SD Worx-Protime. But Danny and me, we really thought and knew that this character does not fit in our culture. So we did not do it.
Is that a gut feeling sometimes, Bruce? That you have with certain people? Did you ever in hindsight think, damn, I should have followed my gut instinct because I knew?
I think it's always a combination. I think you have a gut feeling that you then need to back up with facts first, because a gut feeling can be wrong. And sometimes you have facts and then you need to check in with a gut feeling. So I think it's both together.
That's interesting.
Because those are not easy conversations, not easy decisions. And we can be blindsided. Some people already saw it, some others not. So those are not the easiest decisions. We have taken a few of those in the last years at SD Worx. Those are not the easiest decisions that you just do overnight. So it's both. Yeah.
Is there an SD Worx moment where culture was tested, maybe a period of high pressure, extreme growth, where the team grew so fast that you didn't have these moments to check in and that you really had the culture at stake?
Many moments, to be honest.
Yeah.
Many moments. I think even a recent moment, I'll give an example. We have every month, we have a good conversations, constructive ones with our workers' council. And it's always a good interaction. And we communicated something a bit too fast without asking their advice up front. That's a moment where you say, that's actually not our culture, because our culture is constructive dialogue. We went too fast. And then, you have to say mea culpa. And that also happens. And then culture, normally in a good culture, we're there to help each other. We forgive and we move on. But these moments happen. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Is that balance between individuality and team player?
Yeah, I think that it's important that they are all individualists, but they are member of a team. And I think because we are pretty straight in that we say we win as a team and we lose as a team. And of course, there can just be one rider wins, and we try to give the most of them who can win a race during the season. We give them the possibility that we go in that race, especially for this rider.
To shine.
So, to shine. Yeah. And I think that's really important to stay all feeling pretty well in the balance between individualist and team.
What you have, what we also try to have is here. So you have a culture of being critical friends, meaning giving each other the direct and honest feedback directly. That's how you preserve strong culture and you avoid situations that explode. If the example I gave with the Workers' Council, if we don't talk with each other, then after a few months, it will explode. Yeah. If you don't, with the riders after a race, have a debrief and say, hey, we made a mistake. We make mistakes every day. Yeah. If you can talk about these mistakes, then you avoid bigger blow-ups, to say. And that's how you preserve, I think, culture.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And that's in top sport, for sure. In cycling,
it's even faster.
It's really faster because we have next 3 days or next week, we have another race. So we cannot wait to solve all problems or analyze.
And you are together in the hotel room. You talk about it.
Exactly.
In the business world, sometimes I have to go to my kids. It's normal. So you don't always have the time to directly talk about it. But then you need to take the next day moment.
Absolutely.
Critical friends. I actually like that expression.
Yeah, it's as our CEO and myself, we're writing a book for SD Worx, and one of the chapters are, how do you have a culture of being critical friends? Because we really believe that if you have that, it's the root cause of a healthy culture. It means you are a friend, you're a colleague, you have empathy, you have care, but you are critical. The bar is high, and it's just friendship, it will plummet. The bar is not high enough. Just putting the bar high, it means very harsh culture. You will always run away, but you really need both, being a critical friend. Yeah.
Do you think the C-level is also critical friends? Are they leading by example? Is it harder? No, but the higher up you are, do you think it's harder? Because you got to a certain place and then it's expected that you do everything perfectly. Do you find it harder to be a critical friend to your colleagues at this level in a leadership role?
That I don't find. I think it's not harder. No. what is sometimes harder is that because you are in a certain role, I always ask myself, are the people in a way in other positions below? I hate that work because I'm not a hierarchical person. Yeah. Are they still honest with me? Do they dare to be critical friends? So I think there as well, I try at least to ask every day, if you say please be critical friends, give me feedback, then the door is open. Because that's mostly the hardest way to give.
Do you sometimes have the bottom-up feedback, Erwin? Do they dare to talk to the team director about his personal...
Yeah, I think in the past, it's a top sport world is most of the days pretty hard. So it's more of you need to perform, and otherwise maybe we have no space anymore next year, and that's the heart of the top sport. Different, I think, than in the usual business. But what we try, and we started there a few years ago, for example, with a Riders' Council. So then I sit together 3 times a year with 3 riders, and they talk about, and we have things on the agenda, and they talk from all the things what are going on into the team. From the bottom up, to the highest management, and the way around. So. And then we have a trust person also in the team. So if something's going on, they can always go to the trust person, etc., etc. So we try to stimulate it. That it's not only you need to perform.
And are the girls critical friends towards each other, or as you said, it's a family? Are they critical family members towards each other?
No, they are. You see that.
Is that hard for them to do that?
No. They are also pretty clear to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because otherwise,
no filter.
No. And of course, some do it a little bit more nice, and other are merely direct. But in general, they really say what they think. So they're pretty critical to each other.
So if I would ask both of you the top 3 values in your company, in your team, would they be the same ones? We could give it a shot. If you think of 3 top values, Bruce.
All for one for all.
Yeah, the same for us.
Commitment drives us forward. Being fully committed to wanting to win, being a result as a team.
Yeah, fully commitment is for us usual. Otherwise, they don't come in the team. Yeah, it is a top sport. Yeah.
Now you can go first for the third one.
Yeah.
Erwin, what's the biggest value?
Trust.
Yeah.
Trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That goes both ways, I think, Bruce.
Yeah.
Trust for sure. And there again, the critical friend plays into trust. Being transparent with each other plays into trust.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, when we talk about legacy, to round this up, it's what remains when we're not there anymore, literally, or when somebody leaves the company, the legacy. What do you want people to say about, Erwin, the Team SD Worx-Protime in 10 years? Is the biggest thing that you want them to say, they won this race and this race and this race?
Yeah, I hope that people look back to Team SD Worx-Protime as the #1 team for a really long period in women's cycling. Really trend-setting. So we really make new borders. It was a team really in a family, critical friends way that they always worked.
Okay. Bruce, the legacy at SD Worx.
It's how you make somebody feel. When I have colleagues and they talk about previous managers, CEOs, whoever, every example is always, in that moment, that person was there for me, made me feel part of the family, was there, cared for me, helped me. That's what people really remember. I think it's a bit of a human connection. In the world of AI, it's the human connection. It's how you make somebody feel, and they will not remember in that year we made 5 million more profit. So I think it's important how we make somebody feel. And again, if we do that, results always come too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. And I think we still have the last part of your story, Erwin, for us.
Okay.
Let's have a listen.
if you look then to a lot of typically, especially team efforts that we had, then I can of course mention a lot of them, but one of them I think what was also a really famous race, that was when we became years ago the number one in the team time trial in Qatar. Yeah, what is really typical and important in the team time trial is the trust in each other, because you go really fast. You must think around 50k an hour, and then 45 Ks, and then you take every time you need to take over. But everybody knows how long will take over the next rider, and then the next rider, and the next rider. And then with this speed, it's so important that you look to each other and that you don't need to talk, but you can trust each other and know what the strengths are.
All right. Well, gentlemen, you know the drill. Rapid questions. One thing you'd steal from cycling into business, Bruce.
Going from critical friend to critical family. Yeah. I think you and your team, you're doing the critical friend every time, so at the highest bar, and I think we can go to that bar, which is the critical family.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
All right. Erwin, same question. Something from the business world that you think, I'd steal this one.
Yeah, I think the example from Bruce, and I think in business that's more common, to look more also from bottom up, because in top sport it's still also a lot of top down.
Right, the coach and the coachee.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we make some good steps, but we are still not there. So some more bottom up experiences will be good.
So to coach sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Be open for that at least. Gentlemen, one habit that keeps values alive in the team under pressure.
Accountability in every moment, being critical friend in every moment, holding each other accountable in every moment as team members. Don't let the moments slip away. That's culture. And again, it's also what do you tolerate and what do you not tolerate. So if something happens that is not tolerable, do you take it and discuss it, or do you let it slip away? If you let it slip away, then the culture will slip away.
And that's what makes the legacy.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's not going to be a very memorable legacy, Erwin. Yeah. Is there one habit for you personally that keeps the values alive?
Yeah, for us it's important. Be always open, be honest to each other, and talk if there are things. Then we can solve it. Pretty easy, but it's pretty effective.
Well, thank you so much, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Erwin and Bruce.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And what I remember is that performance is seen, but culture is felt. Today we heard that values only matter if they survive pressure, and that purpose only works if it shows up in behavior day after day. Leadership shapes most of the culture, and it's built daily in small moments. That's exactly why it's so hard to change quickly. And once you have a culture, you protect it with direct feedback. Because if you don't talk about what's off, it doesn't disappear. It builds pressure until it explodes. That's why critical friends matter. People who care enough to tell you the truth. That honesty, when it's anchored in trust, is what keeps a team healthy and what builds that true legacy. Thank you so much for listening and watching. Discover the other People and Peloton episodes about cycling and business at sdworx.com or on your favorite podcast platform. Until next time, bye-bye. SD Worx.